Hello friends, this is Amir Malik. Today we are going to discuss the concept of overriding in Java. Overriding is related to inheritance when a child class or a subclass is inherited by a parent class or a superclass. So overriding is when you declare a method with the same name of a method which is already declared in the parent class. You can see in this example we have a method with the name greet in the parent class, like which is main, because you can see it's public class main. This class starts here, line number 2, and it ends here at line number 16. Then we have another class rude which extends main. So basically this line states that rude is the child class or the subclass which extends main. Main is the parent class, or the other word for parent class in Java is superclass. So main is superclass or parent class, rude is child class or subclass. So you can see that we have a method with the name greet in parent class, and it has some body and some implementation, and we declared a same name method greet in the child class, and it has a body as well. So if we call greet method, which method would be called, or which method should be called if we call greet method, like parents greet method or child's greet method? So this is all about overriding. So overriding is if we declare a method with the similar name as of the parent class, and in this way basically the child class method overrides the parent class method. This is overriding. It sounds similar to overloading, which is another concept of Java, and we have discussed it in my previous video. So if you want to know what is overloading, then you can watch this video on my YouTube channel, which is about overloading. So overloading is basically not about inheritance. It is just about a class which can have same name methods but with different parameter lists. So that is overloading. But in overriding, we have a method in the child class and we have a same name method in the parent class. So basically child method overrides the parent method. So this is about overriding. Now if we go back to the code, you can see that here we have the main class, like the parent class, with one method named greet, and it has no parameter. So without parameter, this is a method greet. We have another method greet, and it has one parameter. So basically this is the concept of overloading. See, overloading is in one class you can have same name methods but their parameters list should be different. So in this case, in the same main class we have two methods with the same name greet. Their return type is same string, but their parameter list is different. In this method we have no argument, no parameter, but in this method we have one argument, one parameter. So this is basically overloading. But what is overriding? Overriding is we have a method greet in the parent class and we have a method greet in the child class. Now if we call the greet method, which method will be called, this or this? Because like this method is printing hi, and this method, because this class is quite a rude class, so this method returns I don't have time for you. So if we call greet method, what should be printed? Hi, or I don't have time for you. So let's see how how this code works. You can see that we have one method greet with no parameter, one method greet with one parameter, In the main method, we have created an object, main, like name of the main class, and the object name is m1. And on the right side, you can see it is basically, it refers to the parent class, because on the left side and on the right side, both sides, we have the parent class name. Now we have created another object m2, and on the left side we have parent class name, but on the right side we have child class name, see, root. So this is the difference between line number 11 and line number 14. If you focus on the right hand side, left hand side is similar in both cases when we are creating an object for the parent class and an object for the child class. So the left side is same, but on the right side we have for this object we have parent class name, and for this method we have child class name. So now we have two objects, m1 and m2. So now if you call a method like greet method with m1, so because m1 refers to the parent class, so by using m1, if you call the method greet, like m1 dot greet, because it refers to the parent class, so it will call the greet method from the parent class. So now we have two greet methods in the parent class. One greet method is this without any argument, and one greet method is here with one argument, like with one string parameter, and the name of the parameter is who. So which greet, obviously one thing is fine, one thing is clear, that because this object refers to the parent class, so when we use m1 dot greet, it will call greet method from the parent class. But now in the parent class we have two greet methods. Now out of these two greet methods, which method will be called? So now you have to check the arguments. So we are calling m1 dot greet, and we are giving it one argument, one string value. It means the method with one parameter value will be called, because this method we don't have any parameter list. So when we are giving one value, it means this cannot be called, like this method cannot be called, because if we have to call this method, then we don't need to give any value. But because we are giving one value, it means we are calling this method. So it will return hello dear and the value of who, which is in this case Amir, so it will print hello dear Amir. Clear? Now m2. Okay, now in this case m2. Now m2, we have already discussed that m2 refers to the child class. Main m2 is equal to new root. So basically this m2 refers to the child class. So when we call m2 dot greet, obviously it should call the child greet method, like the greet method in child class. So it should print I don't have time for you. It looks so now. So okay, I'm gonna run it and let's see what is printed. Okay, so first system.out.println m1.greet. So it called, because it is m1 which refers to the parent class, so it called this method and it printed hello dear and the value of who, which is Amir, so it printed hello dear Amir. But what is this? This m2 was referring to the child class, so it should go to this method, but again it is calling this method, this one, and it is printing hello dear and then Malik, because we are giving the value of Malik. So basically this is calling this method, this greet method, hello dear and Malik. Again, parent method. Why? Okay, now let me tell you. You see, if you can see, when we are calling the greet method, we are writing m2.greet and we are giving one argument value, like one value as an argument. And if you look at the greet method in child class, it has no argument. It does not need any argument. So when we call m2.greet and give one argument, first it will go to the child class and will see if there is a greet method with one parameter. But in this case, in the child class root, we don't have any greet method which needs one argument. So because this is inheritance and all the public methods of parent class are automatically inherited by the child class. So basically both these methods, because these are public methods, public string greet without any argument and public string greet with one argument, both these methods are inherited by this child class as well. So it means these are indirectly part of the child class as well. So when we call m2.greet with one argument, first it will look into the child class, but because it doesn't find any greet method with one parameter, so it will go to the parent class and then it will find there is a greet method there which needs one argument. So it will call this method hello dear, but in this case as the value of who is Malik, so it will print hello dear Malik. Okay, if we have to call this method without any argument, then what we have to do, we have to make a few changes in the code. So I'm just removing the value of the parameter. So now m2.greet without any argument. So m2 because it refers to the child class, and now it is calling m2.greet from the child class without any argument. So it will go to the child class and it will see is there any greet method without a parameter list. So it will find this one, public string greet without any parameter, which returns I don't have time for you. So if we call m1 dot greet, then definitely it will go to the parent greet method and it will say hello dear Amir. And in this case, when we are calling m2.greet, it will call this method. Okay, let's run the program and see what is the output. Okay, so see, hello dear Amir and I don't have time for you. So I think it's clear that when you basically when you are overriding methods in child class, that how overriding works. So basically overriding is using a same name method in child class as in the parent class, and they can have different parameters list or they can have same parameters list, so everything can be same or parameter list can be different, but the name and everything should be same. So because these are like same methods, same name methods in child class and in parent class, so this is called overriding. One more thing, when we are calling m1.greet Amir, so if I simply remove this value as well, so now this m1.greet will call, because m1 refers to parent class, so it will call this greet method which does not have any parameter list, and this m2.greet because it refers to the child class, so it will call this child method greet without any parameter list. So let me run this. See, this is the result. First it printed hi because like it called this method greet without any parameter, and then it printed I don't have time for you because it called this method greet from the child class without any parameter. So what are the advantages of overriding? The most important advantage is a child class can give its own specific implementation to an inherited method without modifying the parent class method or parent class code. Because in the previous example, in the parent class we had a greet method and in the child class we had a greet method. So without changing the code of the parent class, the child class uses its own implementation of its own method. Another advantage is, suppose a superclass or a parent class has multiple subclasses or multiple child classes. So if one class needs to use a method from the parent class, it can use it, and like the other child classes or other subclasses, they can use their own implementation by overriding parents method. So this is another advantage of overriding when we are dealing with inheritance. Friends, there are few rules you have to keep in your mind when you are overriding a method. The first thing is the parameter list. If you want to override a method, the parameter list, the name and the data type and the return type, everything should be same. For example, if we have this data type, return type is string and the name is greet without any parameter, then we have to override it like this, the same way. The parameter list should be same. We cannot do this that in one parameter, in one method we have like 2 parameters, or in the overridden method we have 3 or 4 parameters. So the parameter list should be same. Second rule is you cannot reduce the visibility of the method. For example, if the parent method, the access modifier is public, like it is not private or protected, it is public, then the child class method should also be public. You cannot make it protected or private to override it. So these few rules are very, very important. One thing is that the parameter list should be same, and second is the visibility or the access modifier. If you're using public in the parent class, then you have to use public in the child class as well. You cannot override it with private or protected. So friends, that was all about overriding. I will come in the next video with something new from Java. I hope you will watch my previous videos. If you have any query, you can write in the message box, and you can like my videos, you can watch my videos, and the most important thing is don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, and you can see this on the screen. This is my YouTube channel. Okay, till next video, take care, have a nice day.